Ladies and gentlemen, leadership is not a title you wear, a chair you sit in, or a badge you display. It is a life you live. The heart of leadership is not found in the power to control, but in the passion to serve. Leadership is often mistaken for a title, a rank, or a position in an organization. But in its purest and most transformative form, leadership is not about position. It is about purpose. The essence of true leadership lies not in the authority you are given, but in the calling you discover. It is not something conferred by others. It is something ignited within you when you come into alignment with your life's purpose. Purpose is the original intent behind creation. Every human being is born with a unique combination of gifts, passions, and experiences. These are not accidental. They are indicators of design. And when a person begins to uncover and embrace their purpose, leadership emerges naturally. You don't have to demand influence when you are walking in purpose. People are drawn to clarity, conviction, and authenticity. When someone lives with a deep sense of why they exist, they become a light in the fog of uncertainty for others. Too many people pursue leadership without first pursuing purpose. As a result, they lead from insecurity and ego rather than clarity and service. They chase after positions because they believe that authority will validate their worth. But leadership without purpose is dangerous. It turns power into a weapon rather than a tool for building others. Without purpose, leadership becomes self-serving rather than transformational. On the other hand, when you lead from purpose, you understand that your influence is not about you. It's about what you are meant to give to the world. Purpose. Driven leaders are not obsessed with being first. They are committed to fulfilling their role in the bigger picture. They do not see leadership as a ladder to climb, but as a platform to serve from. Their confidence doesn't come from how many people they command, but from how deeply they know why they were born. Purpose gives leadership direction. It helps a leader make decisions with integrity, even when it's costly. It gives resilience in the face of resistance, because the leader knows that the mission is bigger than their feelings. Purpose is what helps leaders stay focused when distractions come and remain humble when success arrives. It grounds them in something eternal, something deeper than applause or approval. Furthermore, purpose-driven leadership is infectious. When a leader operates with purpose, they inspire others to discover and pursue their own. They don't create followers. They create an environment where others rise into their own calling. That's the power of purpose. It multiplies leadership, it sustains it, and it gives it meaning. In the end, true leadership is not about being in charge. It is about being responsible for something meaningful. And that responsibility begins with purpose. Before anyone can lead others effectively, they must first discover why they were created. Only then can their leadership be trusted, their vision be clear, and their legacy be lasting. Position may come and go, but purpose, once discovered, defines who you are and what you are meant to lead. True leadership is not about the authority to command or control. It is about the power to influence. Influence is the core of leadership. It is what motivates people to follow, not because they are forced to, but because they are inspired to. Unlike authority, which can be gained through position or title, influence is earned through respect, trust, and personal example. When a leader leads with integrity, vision, and humility, they don't need to demand compliance. Their influence compels others to align with the greater good. Influence arises from the heart of a leader, and it has the power to transform entire cultures, organizations, and communities. A leader who leads by influence understands that the foundation of their leadership is not in force, but in relationships. People will follow a leader they respect, not one they fear. Fear can make people comply in the short term, but respect and trust will foster commitment in the long run. In fact, true leaders don't need to impose their will on others. They show the way by living out the values they stand for. A leader with influence empowers others, enabling them to make decisions and take action with confidence. The focus of such a leader is not on gaining personal power or control, but on lifting others to their fullest potential. When a leader operates from a place of influence, their strength is in their ability to uplift and inspire rather than to manipulate or dominate. They build relationships based on mutual respect, and through this, they become a source of guidance, motivation, and vision. The greatest example of leadership by influence is seen in those who lead with authenticity. When a leader is genuine and transparent, they connect with others on a deeper level. Their actions align with their words, and this congruence builds trust. Trust is the bedrock of influence. People trust leaders who show integrity, who are honest about their mistakes, and who stay true to their values even when it's difficult. This is what builds long-term influence that isn't contingent on title or position, but on the respect and admiration others have for the leader's character. Moreover, influence is not just about inspiring others to follow you. It's about helping them become leaders in their own right. A true leader sees the potential in others and fosters it. They understand that the measure of their success isn't in how many people they can control or dictate to, but in how many people they can inspire to step into their own leadership. Leaders who inspire influence are also leaders who mentor, guide, and develop the leaders of tomorrow. They don't hoard influence, they multiply it. This kind of leadership transcends positions and titles. A person with influence can lead from anywhere, regardless of their formal authority. Leadership is not about who holds the highest rank. It's about the impact one has on the people they encounter. In the end, influence is not just the ability to lead others, it's the ability to transform lives, shape minds, and empower others to take ownership of their own destiny. The heart of leadership is not about control. It is about creating a legacy of influence that continues long after the leader is gone. Vision is the cornerstone of effective leadership. It is the leader's ability to see beyond the present moment, to foresee what is possible, and to inspire others to follow that vision with conviction and purpose. A leader without vision is like a ship without a rudder, adrift, directionless, and vulnerable to the winds of uncertainty. Vision is what gives leadership direction, meaning, and focus. It is the clear understanding of where a leader wants to go and why it matters. Without vision, leadership becomes reactive rather than proactive, driven by circumstances instead of a clear, purposeful goal. Vision is not merely an idea or a dream, it is a blueprint for the future. It is not just about seeing what is in front of you, but understanding where you are going and what you are trying to accomplish. Great leaders are able to articulate this vision in such a way that others not only understand it, but are motivated to contribute to its realization. They are able to communicate the larger purpose in a way that aligns individual goals with collective objectives. When a leader has a vision, they give those around them something to believe in, a future worth striving for. The leader's vision becomes the foundation upon which everything else is built. It provides clarity in times of uncertainty, it shapes decision-making, and it serves as a compass for both everyday actions and long-term strategies. When the world seems chaotic or obstacles seem insurmountable, a clear vision helps leaders stay focused on the bigger picture. It gives them the strength to push through challenges, to persist when others might give up, and to stay true to the course even when the journey is difficult. A vision allows a leader to transform setbacks into opportunities, understanding that every challenge is a stepping stone toward the greater purpose. The importance of vision extends beyond the leader's ability to see the future. It also lies in their ability to inspire others to see it too. A great leader is not one who works alone, but one who brings others into the vision, empowering them to contribute their own unique skills and talents. Leaders who inspire others to see and align with their vision create a sense of ownership and commitment among their followers. They don't just issue commands or dictate outcomes, they cultivate a shared sense of purpose. By engaging others in the vision, a leader fosters a team mentality and encourages collaboration toward a common goal. Moreover, vision gives leaders the ability to make tough decisions. When faced with difficult choices, a clear vision provides a frame of reference to determine the best course of action. It helps leaders prioritize what matters most, weigh the pros and cons of various options, and choose the path that aligns with their long-term goals. Without vision, decisions are made based on convenience, fear, or short-term gains, which can ultimately lead to confusion, frustration, and failure. Ultimately, vision is what differentiates great leaders from ordinary ones. While anyone can manage day-to-day tasks, it takes a true leader to look beyond the present, to see what could be, and to lead others toward that future with passion and determination. A leader with vision is a leader who is not content with the status quo, but who is constantly seeking to improve, innovate, and create a better tomorrow. Vision is the fuel that drives leadership forward. It is what keeps leaders moving toward their destination, regardless of the obstacles that may arise. True leadership is rooted in servanthood. Many view leadership as a position of power, a place where authority is wielded and decisions are made for others. However, authentic leadership turns this idea on its head. It is about service, not control. The greatest leaders in history did not seek to dominate others. Rather, they sought to uplift and empower those they led. Leadership, in its purest form, is about meeting the needs of others and guiding them toward their own greatness. Servant leadership acknowledges that the leader's role is not to be served, but to serve. The essence of leadership as servanthood lies in the understanding that the leader's role is not to direct others from a place of privilege, but to guide them with humility and respect. This principle challenges the common misconception that leadership is about exerting power over others. Instead, servant leadership focuses on lifting others, nurturing their growth, and supporting them in realizing their potential. It requires a mindset shift from a leader as a boss to a leader as a mentor, coach, and guide. Leaders who embody this mindset are genuinely invested in the success and well-being of their teams. They take time to understand the needs, concerns, and aspirations of those they lead, and they act on this knowledge to create an environment where people can thrive. Servant leaders do not ask, "What can my people do for me?" But instead they ask, "What can I do for my people?" This shift in perspective fosters trust, loyalty, and a sense of purpose among those being led. When people feel valued, heard, and supported, they are motivated to give their best and work toward a shared vision. Servant leadership also requires emotional intelligence and empathy. A leader must be able to understand the emotions, challenges, and experiences of others in order to provide the right kind of support. This doesn't mean leaders must have all the answers, but it does mean that they should listen deeply and respond with compassion. The ability to connect with others on a human level is what builds strong relationships and creates a team dynamic based on mutual respect and understanding. Moreover, servant leadership emphasizes collaboration over competition. It is not about the leader taking credit for the success of a team. It is about recognizing and celebrating the contributions of each individual. Servant leaders create an atmosphere of shared success where every team member feels that their role is important and their efforts are acknowledged. This sense of collective achievement fosters a culture of teamwork where everyone works together for the common good. At the heart of servant leadership is the belief that true power is found in humility. When a leader serves with humility, they demonstrate strength, not weakness. They lead by example, showing that leadership is not about receiving accolades or privileges, but about using one's position to elevate others. This type of leadership is both inspiring and transformational. It produces results not only in terms of achievements and outcomes, but also in the lasting impact on the lives of those who are led. In essence, servanthood is not a step down, it is a step up. It is a step toward creating a leadership culture that values people over power, collaboration over control, and humility over hubris. Leaders who embrace servanthood create lasting legacies, not because of their titles or achievements, but because of the positive, enduring impact they have on the lives of others. The foundation of effective leadership is character. While skills and strategies may initially open doors, it is a leader's character that determines whether they remain open or eventually close. Leadership is about more than managing resources or directing efforts. It is about inspiring trust, cultivating respect, and being a beacon of integrity. A leader with strong character is one whose actions align with their values, whose word is their bond, and whose decisions reflect their ethical framework. Without character, leadership becomes hollow. It may yield temporary success, but will fail to build lasting influence or trust. In the world of leadership, there are many who can rise to prominence based on technical skills, charisma, or sheer ambition. But these qualities alone do not guarantee sustained leadership. Character is what ensures a leader's ability to handle success and failure with grace, to remain consistent in the face of pressure, and to stand firm on principles even when it is inconvenient. A leader with character does not make decisions based on short-term gain or popularity. Instead, they are guided by what is right, not what is easy. Leadership without character can lead to manipulative behaviors, broken promises, and an erosion of trust. If a leader lacks integrity, they will be willing to compromise their values for personal benefit or expedience. This type of leadership, while potentially effective in the short term, creates an environment where dishonesty, deceit, and betrayal flourish. In contrast, a leader with character establishes a culture of transparency, accountability, and fairness. Their consistency in word and deed builds trust, and trust is the currency of lasting leadership. When people trust their leader, they are willing to follow them through challenges, setbacks, and obstacles, knowing that the leader's motives are pure. Character also serves as a model for others. A leader's actions, words, and behaviors provide a roadmap for those they lead. A leader who demonstrates humility, honesty, and consistency sets a standard for how others should behave. Leaders who walk in integrity inspire others to act with integrity, creating a ripple effect of ethical behavior that permeates throughout an organization or community. When character is the cornerstone of leadership, it raises the entire group or organization to a higher standard of conduct. People become more committed, more focused, and more dedicated to the mission because they see that their leader is trustworthy and dependable. Moreover, a leader's character is tested in times of adversity. When everything is going well, it is easy to appear strong and capable. But when challenges arise, a leader's true nature is revealed. How they respond to failure, how they handle setbacks, and how they navigate difficult decisions all stem from their character. A leader of strong character does not shy away from accountability, nor do they place blame on others when things go wrong. Instead, they own their mistakes, learn from them, and continue to move forward with renewed determination. Ultimately, leadership is a reflection of who you are on the inside. Your character dictates how you lead, the decisions you make, and the impact you have on others. Great leadership is not about creating followers, it's about creating more leaders, and that is only possible when the leader's character is strong, consistent, and rooted in principles that inspire others to rise. Character is the foundation of leadership because it is the one thing that cannot be taken away or compromised without sacrificing the integrity of the leader and their ability to lead effectively. The power of a leader lies not only in their ability to influence others, but in their capacity to foster growth in those they lead. Leadership is not about positioning yourself above others, but about elevating others to their highest potential. A great leader recognizes that their role is not to take credit for success, but to inspire and empower others to contribute their talents, abilities, and ideas. The greatest accomplishment of a leader is not measured by what they achieve alone, but by what they help others achieve. Empowering others requires a leader to trust those they lead. This trust is built over time through consistent support, recognition, and belief in the abilities of others. When a leader truly believes in the potential of their team, they give them the freedom to take risks, make decisions, and learn from their mistakes. Empowerment is about allowing others the space to grow, to fail, and to ultimately succeed. A leader's role in this process is not to micromanage or control, but to provide the resources, guidance, and encouragement necessary for others to flourish. One of the most effective ways a leader can empower others is through delegation. When leaders delegate responsibility, they give people the opportunity to step into roles of greater accountability and ownership. Delegation is not just about sharing tasks, but about offering trust and belief in someone's ability to handle responsibility. Leaders who empower others understand that their role is to cultivate the talents and strengths of those around them and to provide the support necessary for those individuals to thrive. Another key element of empowering leadership is active mentorship. Leaders who empower others do not simply direct them from a distance, they invest time and energy into developing their potential. They serve as mentors, guiding and advising, but also encouraging independence and critical thinking. Mentorship is about sharing knowledge, offering constructive feedback, and helping others develop the skills and confidence they need to lead on their own. The true test of a leader's effectiveness is whether they can inspire others to lead without their direct involvement. When a leader empowers their followers, they create a ripple effect of leadership that extends beyond their immediate sphere of influence. Effective empowerment also involves creating an environment where individuals feel safe to take initiative and innovate. A leader who creates a culture of empowerment fosters a climate of openness and creativity. They encourage their team to think outside the box, challenge conventional ideas, and pursue new ways of doing things. Leaders who empower others are not afraid of being challenged because they understand that innovation often arises from fresh perspectives. By creating an atmosphere where ideas are welcome, a leader encourages others to bring their best selves to the table and contribute to the collective vision. Ultimately, empowerment is about lifting others up, not just for their benefit, but for the greater good of the entire organization or community. When people feel empowered, they are more engaged, more motivated, and more committed to the mission at hand. They take ownership of their work, take pride in their contributions, and become more invested in the success of the team. Empowered individuals are not just followers, they are partners in the vision. A great leader understands that their success is intertwined with the success of those they lead. When others rise, so too does the leader. This collaborative approach creates a culture of mutual respect, shared purpose, and collective achievement that transcends individual accomplishments. Leadership is not a solitary pursuit, it is a shared journey where collaboration and teamwork are essential to achieving the collective goal. A leader who understands the importance of collaboration knows that the power of the team is far greater than any individual effort. The strength of a leader is found in their ability to bring people together to create a sense of unity and to inspire a shared commitment toward a common vision. This sense of collaboration fosters a culture where individuals work together, utilizing their strengths and talents to reach a common objective. True leadership recognizes that no one achieves greatness alone. Even the most gifted individuals need support, guidance, and the contributions of others to succeed. A great leader doesn't isolate themselves from their team, but actively fosters an environment where cooperation thrives. They create an atmosphere where ideas are shared freely, where differences are respected, and where everyone is encouraged to contribute their unique perspective. When a leader embraces collaboration, they create a sense of inclusivity that strengthens the bond between individuals and enhances the overall effectiveness of the team. A leader who values collaboration actively works to eliminate barriers that hinder communication and teamwork. They are transparent and open in their communication, ensuring that every team member feels heard and valued. They foster an environment of trust where individuals can speak openly without fear of judgment or retribution. Trust is the foundation of any successful collaboration. And a leader who is approachable and genuine will inspire the same behavior in others. When a leader models openness and transparency, they create a culture where honesty and mutual respect are the norm rather than the exception. Collaboration also requires a leader to empower others to take initiative and make decisions. Great leaders recognize that they do not have all the answers, and they value the expertise and insights of those around them. Instead of micromanaging or making decisions in isolation, they seek input from their team and involve them in the decision-making process. By giving their team ownership of the outcome, they not only increase the likelihood of success, but also instill a sense of pride and accountability among team members. When people are empowered to contribute meaningfully to the decision-making process, they are more invested in the result and more motivated to see it through to completion. Additionally, collaboration in leadership means that challenges and setbacks are faced together. No team is without obstacles, and leaders who embrace collaboration understand that facing difficulties as a united front makes the team stronger. Instead of allowing problems to divide or discourage the team, a collaborative leader brings the team together to brainstorm solutions, strategize, and support each other through the difficult times. They encourage a collective problem-solving approach where every team member is empowered to contribute their ideas and resources toward overcoming the challenge. This shared resilience builds camaraderie and strengthens the bonds between team members, creating a sense of solidarity that propels the team forward. Furthermore, a collaborative leader celebrates the contributions of every team member, recognizing that each individual plays a vital role in the success of the group. They understand that the sum of the whole is greater than the individual parts, and they encourage a culture where everyone feels valued and appreciated. This not only boosts morale, but also creates a positive and motivating environment where people are excited to collaborate, innovate, and work together toward the common goal. In the end, leadership that is built on collaboration is sustainable and effective. It fosters a culture of inclusivity, trust, and mutual respect, where each team member feels empowered and committed to the vision. Great leaders understand that their role is not to go it alone, but to bring people together, leveraging the collective strengths of the team to achieve something greater than any individual could accomplish. Through collaboration, a leader can unlock the full potential of their team, creating a shared vision and purpose that drives success and transforms the team into a unified force for progress.